What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sports Dummies podcast. It is currently 11:24 at night on a Monday night. The reason I'm doing this so late is because I know I told you guys that we'd be doing this weekend. We had recorded about almost an hour's worth of content, and it only would have uploaded the first 10 minutes. So I've been all weekend trying to get a time to redo this with Chris, and we couldn't come up with a time to do this together. So instead, I decided that tonight, of all times, at 11:30 at night, I'd come and give you this podcast, this show that I told you guys that I would deliver. So I always do deliver on my word, and here I am, late on a Monday night before you're on to work in the morning, giving you the Sports Dummies podcast. We're going to discuss the AEW and Smackdown going to Fox. For people who are unaware, this is a lot of pro wrestling stuff that is impacting the world of sports. We'll start talking about the AEW first. AEW is All Elite Wrestling. So we'll start off this one. This is definitely more of an impact on the world of sports than the whole the SmackDown going to Fox. But the AEW, so let me explain to you what AEW is. AEW it's a wrestling promotion started by a group of wrestlers with an investment, and this is where the tie into wrestling comes. The investor is Tony Khan, who is the son of the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The investment from the Khan family is tens of millions of dollars. And right now they're looking into some sort of TV deal for the wrestling, which there's rumors of where that will be. We'll get to that a little later on. One of the wrestlers has came out. He is quoted. We're going to change the wrestling economy because opportunity doesn't pay the bills, money does. So coming from one of the guys who is very high up in the chain of this company, seems like they're going to pay these guys. How much of this money is going to come from the money of the Jacksonville Jaguars? How much of this is going to dig into their pocket? Something definitely to take into account when we're talking the future of the Jaguars. And not only, so the family does not only just own the Jaguars, they own I want to say, I have it somewhere here, a London soccer club. So there's definitely a lot of money here, and his is more just stuff, coming from the father. He comes out and he does with a quote say that he is the lead investor. His son will serve as in the leadership role of AEW, for the start and the years ahead. So this isn't like something they're just going to have to start up and then hand it off to somebody. This is something they're fully investing in. So this isn't something that I think is just so they're putting money into. Once it gets off the ground, they're done with it. It seems like there's a long-term commitment here. The father is also Shadid, I believe is his name. He says, AEW will operate as an organization completely independently from my other investments. I will not deter attention or divert resources from any of my other businesses, teams, projects, or investments. So, that being said, in July 2013, Khan negotiated the purchase of the London soccer club Fulham. I might be saying that wrong. I'm not, but they're of the Premier League. I'm not a big soccer fan. So, if I'm saying that wrong, my bad. And then on November 29th, 2011, Khan agreed to purchase the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, the hockey. Man, I'm having it's late. Give me a break. The soccer club he's had for, 7 years now? No, not 7, 8 years, or 6 years now. And he's had the Jaguars for 8 years now. So he's definitely proven in running running a business like so. So So that's definitely a positive outlook for their future as far as staying with the Jaguars and the soccer club. I'm just really interested on what we'll see as far as promoting of the wrestling and the Jaguars. I do know any big wrestling fans that listen to the show. In a Japanese wrestling show, all the wrestlers from AEW came out with their Jacksonville Jaguar colors on in the wrestling gear. So there's already a little bit of a cross between the two. So I'm definitely interested to see how much of that we see. I imagine you won't see too much of it as far as the Jaguars go because they got to get the NFL's approval on the advertisement, I assume. So we'll definitely be keeping a close eye on that to see. That could be definitely interesting. But as far as the little bit more of a direct impact on what you see every day on sports. So they're talking about a TV deal, and the current potential TV deal is TNT. And where this ties in very, very, very closely to the world of sports is the NBA runs on TNT as well. So I am very curious now what happens when there's an NBA game at the same time as a wrestling show. Do they move the NBA game? Do they move the wrestling show? How happy are the Khans going to be that their show that they want on TNT gets moved to True TV? What else do they have? They are in the TNT's True TV, TNT itself, not TBS, maybe TBS. There's a couple though. I know there's like 3 or 4 that are all owned by TNT. Well, ran through Turner Programming, TNT. So that's definitely very interesting to see how that's going to affect it. I don't know. Is the NBA going to be very happy that they're being moved to a less popular television less popular channel in True TV? So we'll definitely have to keep a close eye on that going forward and seeing the effect that has on the world of sports. Definitely let me know what you think. How would you feel if you started noticing the games getting moved off, and how would you feel about seeing some wrestling promotion during your football games? Because you're definitely now going to get wrestling promotion during your basketball games on TNT. Or really anything on TNT, you're going to see that a little bit more now in your world of sports. So definitely let me know how you feel about that. Is that something you want to see or something you don't want to see? I personally don't mind it. I personally think it brings good eyes to the product. I am a wrestling fan, but some people don't care to see that stuff. Some people really have a bad taste with wrestling. They don't like wrestling. They feel they have the whole "it's fake" spiel. So just something definitely interesting that I don't think many non-wrestling fans are aware of. So figured I can give you guys a little bit of information on this. And that does not stop there. We go into the next topic at hand, which is WWE SmackDown Live is going to be moving to Fox. So Fox has paid a deal to WWE worth over $1 billion, $205 million per year for 5 years. So that's definitely a lot of money invested in something they hope to pan out. And again, if you're not a big wrestling fan, you're not aware, but as of now, WWE's numbers in viewership are definitely struggling on that show. So it's definitely interesting. This is set to occur in October of 2019. So it's not like they have plenty of time. I mean, time is definitely short to get the viewership up. Potential move to FS1 for them without that. So again, like I said, just a lot of interesting stuff that really affects what goes on your sports channels. It's really what this tie into the world of sports is this is all coming onto your sports program. You have the same potential advertising on Fox, all your Fox channels while this is happening, and then in the years to come. The deal is going to have NBC, so WWE will be on NBC, which is where Monday Night Raw is on the USA Network. So that's it's just going to be very interesting where we see wrestling now in our world of sports where we're not used to seeing it. I do know originally Fox was trying to get both Raw and SmackDown over, which is very, very, this is in January. Dave Meltzer, which if you're not, again, a wrestling fan, you don't know, but usually he's right. He's a very reliable source. I'm trying to think of Adam Scheffner of WWE. I guess, yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Meltzer did report in his Wrestling Observer newsletter in January that Fox was offering WWE to air Raw and SmackDown on the main Fox broadcast channel, Raw is going to be on the main Fox broadcast channel and SmackDown on FS1. So I'm curious to see if now they didn't get Raw, do they move SmackDown to the main Raw, or do they just say screw it, you're going to stay on FS1? And you have that same issue there is if the two shows, if the wrestling and the sports overlap, who gets bumped there? Who takes precedent there? There's a lot to see in this. There's a lot to just have to sit back and wait and see. It just comes down to how upset are you if something you're looking forward to watching on regular television is not there anymore, and in places wrestling. Like I said, there's a lot on this issue to just wait and see, and this was just my quick little rundown of what's going on because, like I said, I keep true to my word. I told you I'd put one out. I told you I'd provide you with this information, and again, at 11:30, we are closing in on going on 11:45. Giving you the information because, again, man of my word. Thanks everybody for listening to this short little quick podcast. I'm sorry it is so quick, but it is late. I want to go to bed, and I just wanted to give you guys information, and I'm back at it tomorrow night with Fanatic and potentially Chris, and maybe even the intern, Tommy Benson. Thanks everybody for listening. Adios.